Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Victor. This is Jack. So today we're going to talk a little bit election 2024 and the American people.
Okay, yeah. So we were having a discussion, and we were talking about how Trump has been taken off the ballot in Colorado and in Maine, and how Trump's numbers went up in Colorado after they took him off the ballot. And we're talking about how California decided not to take him off, and there's all these other states, Arizona, and all these states considering taking him off. And basically, if you look at the 2020 election, you know that it was the fairest election in American history.
Yes.
There were no spikes of numbers in the middle of the night. There were no videos of people
With suitcases of
ballots hidden under a
Yeah.
table for over 12 hours since the camera started. And then once the election watchers leave, they do hours of very scrupulous counting, we'll say.
Yeah.
No reinserting of ballots that are
over and over again.
also hidden under the table. Yeah.
None of that happened.
None of that happened, yeah. Don't believe your lying eyes. So you made a good point about this thing about them taking Trump off the ballot in Colorado and then his numbers increasing in Colorado. Now they're like, oh, Colorado's on the table. We could win it. You couldn't before.
Right.
You would have lost it before. You're not even going to spend any money there if you're Trump. You're not going to make it.
Right.
Now you're thinking I could spend some money there. I'm going to do it. So what was your...
It just seems so odd to me that there's some line that's been crossed in the eyes of Americans, or maybe it's just conservatives. I don't know, but this is too far. You can't take the guy that we want off the ballot. We're okay with the election being stolen, but let us do our fake ballots that makes us feel like we're free.
Right.
That's kind of how I'm reading this.
Right. I think that's so interesting because it's like, you weren't free in 2020.
Right.
You didn't live in a country where you could elect someone president. That's not where you live. But you're okay with it. I mean, you're a little angry. You wear some political shirts. You have some flags on the back of your pickup truck that anger 20% of the population, send them into the psychiatrist or whatever, therapist, But you're not actually going to do anything. You got your guns.
Right. And that's important as long as we have that.
Yeah.
And we can fake vote.
Right. And so what we're saying here is, what you were saying is that the population was completely pacified at the point where their elections were being stolen right in front of their eyes with video evidence, and you knew it, but you got your guns.
Right.
So you're cool.
And now they've pushed farther, and it's too far.
Right.
Somehow.
So it's funny. It's like they can't help themselves from pushing farther.
Right. It's never enough.
Because they should go the subtle route. Well, you can't prove it. Trump didn't actually win any lawsuits.
Right.
There's no actual facts. And then you're hearing them say this stuff on the news, and you're like, I've seen this stuff. I've downloaded the video from Rumble of the Georgia election and under the table. Like I've got that on my computer. It's not going anywhere. But then they do this, and it's like, it's interesting because they can't help themselves but do this.
Right.
And it's kind of like one of them, I can't remember if it was New York or Georgia. What was Fannie in Georgia, I think, ran on, I'm gonna prosecute Trump. So she's running with George Soros' money, saying she's going to prosecute Trump. But the best thing for the Democrats is don't do it.
Yeah.
Just relax. Just keep calling them a racist.
Right.
It's going to work because people are really smart in the country, really smart. But then they have to go to the next step. And I don't even know why George Soros is that stupid.
Yeah, I don't understand what he hopes to gain by that.
Or maybe his money interests are just following the will of the leader, and he doesn't actually have a say because there's all these corporations set up to fund these people, and it's technically his money, but he maybe can't pull them back. I don't know. I think it's just interesting. And so this comes to the other thing that I was talking about in the rules for radicals. Okay. So there's a principle in there. I have not read the book, but I've heard this many times, and it's that in any asymmetrical warfare, the value of an action for the weaker group is in the reaction it causes from the larger group.
Okay.
Right? And so, in this situation, I think you were thinking like, well, to give your insight on this, what you had, because I just told him about this last night, and then he had a great insight.
Yeah, it was that the American government actually does that. They're following the same playbook, but they're not doing the actions themselves. They're making it seem like the weaker group is doing an action to get everyone else riled up and to ostracize
Right.
The small
so
group.
They're false flagging.
Right.
Stuff like January 6th and stuff, or even much smaller events like you can go back to Whitmer and stuff like that trying to affect the election. And they're saying, look, the side that's asymmetrically lower in power is doing incorrect action, which is, you know what I'm saying? And if you look at like how many of those scenarios that have ever happened where the lower group in the asymmetrical power has attacked the larger group are actually effective. They're all either false flags or they're stupid stuff. Like I remember when people were going around, I think it was last winter, and they were like attacking the transformer.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Right.
And then like it threatened to put like South Carolina or someplace 20,000, 80,000 people out of power in the winter. What's your gain here? Whatever position you're now supporting, I'm against. Because I don't want grandma in South Carolina to die.
Yeah.
Grandma in South Carolina is not the problem. Or the mother of four. Who, you know what I'm saying?
It's not affecting the people who are the problem.
Right. And so, like, that could have been a false flag. I don't know why, because they didn't put, why it would have been because they didn't put it on the news a lot. So it's probably not. It's probably somebody who's not directing their action properly.
Right.
So all action that you're thinking about making, and I'm not talking about violence here. It could be like the nature of your protest, the timing of your protest, whatever it is.
Sure.
You want to try to spark a negative reaction from the larger power that then causes sympathy or
outrage.
Yeah. Right. And without you dying or anything, of course.
Right.
You know?
And yeah, my other observation was this principle is the movie V for Vendetta in a nutshell.
Oh, right.
It's that little girl with the mask on.
Right.
The cop overreacts and that's it.
Yeah.
Everyone's marching.
And those other people wouldn't have killed one of those finger guys, the finger men.
Right.
But for that situation.
Right.
And then like when you're looking at the government doing this thing where they're taking Trump off the ballot, this is like the opposite of that. This is like the large group
right.
doing the group with more power doing the thing that would cause the people with low power. Like it's like helping.
But they're doing the part without being provoked by the weaker power.
It's not a reaction; it's an action they're doing.
Right.
And then the reaction here is valuable, which is just a blessing.
Yeah.
But I also know, like, okay, so it's not super controversial to talk to somebody about Trump being taken off the ballot.
Okay.
Like, hey, do you hear that taking Trump off the ballot? So you could say that to somebody who hates Trump. And they'd be like, dadgummit, that's great.
Finally.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad. I mean, democracy was fun for a while. Constitutional republic was decent. Now, I mean, what do you think we're going to call this thing we're becoming?
Yeah, what is this?
Like what do you could have conversations with people. But I'm saying if you're not having conversations with people, we made a video a while ago and I can't believe people weren't protesting with firearms. I was saying.
Right.
But that might have been, based on the rules for radical thing, that might have been the inappropriate action. Because now they might have said, well, the public reaction is we need to get them off the ballot. Look at all these wild,
okay. Interesting.
Anyways, but I'm just saying, like, if you have this blessing, which is this one thing, and I'm not doing a pro-Trump video here. I've done plenty of anti-Trump videos. But I'm just saying, when we are the power, we are the group with low power in an asymmetrical combat.
Yeah.
But you're not using this thing. Are you talking to people about this? Are you telling people about this? You can tell people who are apolitical about this. You could discuss this. This is the thing. Anyways, that's basically.
Yeah. This is sort of related.
Okay.
The same playbook that they run against Americans is what they do to other countries too. They're the weaker country, but yet they get the sympathy by faking something so that everyone supports them to do something against the weaker.
Interesting. So like when we look back at Gaddafi, they faked that thing about him in Germany and the Israel sent in the signal thing so it looked like the signal was coming from them. And then America's like, they're just all terrorists in Libya. No, they're commies. They're a bunch of commies. They're sitting with communal stuff and just singing Kumbaya, you know?
Or Vietnam. It's all just tricking people and so that they support war against
Pearl Harbor, 9/11, just go down the list.
Yeah.
All the things.
Yep.
Right, and it's the same. Okay, but Pearl Harbor and 9/11 aren't good examples because you're saying things we do to other countries. That's something that we had other countries do to us. That would be in a different category. There were things where we incite other countries to do things to us, where we fake other countries doing things to us, Gulf of Tonkin, where we fake other countries doing things to other people just to vilify them, like Gaddafi in Germany and terrorism.
Okay.
So there's just all these categories, but they're all just similar.
Yeah, they're different in what we're doing, but the end result is the control of the American people. They're controlling what we support and don't support.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on this? This is I think this is pretty interesting. It's just the view of the American people. I feel like they know they should be doing something, but they've convinced themselves as long as these other things, then we really don't need to do anything. I don't know. It's just kind of my read. Whatever. Let us know your thoughts below. Are we on this, or are we just way off base? What are your thoughts on how the election's turning out so far with the ballots? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'll catch you next time.